So hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I'm Fayaz Khalid, and I'm going to talk about database activity monitoring systems and cybersecurity, and how the database activity monitoring systems impact cybersecurity. Right? I'm going to talk about its applications and how it works and its architecture as well. So let's start. Yeah, so now what is the database activity monitoring system? Now, and database activity monitoring system basically refers to any solution that is used to actively monitor and analyze a database activity. It can like its technologies are like are multi-purpose, typically being used by the organizations use them to both fulfill their specific compliance criteria as well as protect their most sensitive data from the external hackers and malicious insiders, and also it is also used for like auditing purposes as well, right? So by default most databases do not log any activity data, like, or if they do also, it is not enough for their activity data to enable a full forensics investigation of historical breach events. So, and furthermore, it is often logged into a table within the database itself. So what happens is basically, and like assume like a attacker gains access to the database credentials. Now that who like credentials and that particular credentials has right access to the full collection of tables. The attacker can simply just delete any activity rows and associated with their exfiltration. So now as a result, the database activity logging available with the most database products cannot be considered a source of truth that is consistent with the reality. So following an exfiltration attack, it is often truncated and there might not even be a way to know that a breach had ever occurred, right? So it's like very important, right? So now these consideration, all these considerations together lead organizations to adopt a dam security solution, which could like typically be deployed as a collection of agents on their database machines or on the network. So a common solution to forward the database activity in approximately real time to an offsite forensic service such as Splunk. Now, by replicating database queries in real time, postmortem forensics become possible with the assumption that the activity logs are not missing query events. Now oftentimes a near real-time solution brought with it limitations on database performance by adding compute and network overhead to every database query. So now what happens is basically when you're trying to, when suppose an attack has happened to your database, but by logging into your database, what will happen is you will not realize that there is something wrong. Suppose you realize that there is something wrong only after 300 days. Now, in a normal, if you're just logging your database queries and everything, and just keeping a log data by monitoring it, you will not know what happened, where it happened, when it happened, and all this a database activity monitoring system can give you, right? So it can give you everything that is from where it happened, from which part of the database it happened. So it is very, very, very crucial for logging, sorry, auditing. And that is the entire why of the database activity management system. So now these considerations, like basically, like as a result, an alternative approach is to like create copy. Okay, yeah. So these lead organizations to adopt to adapt to a database. I think the same. Yeah. So now we will go on to the feature of database activity monitoring systems. Now the key aspects of what it does. So now real-time monitoring, it can like it operates in real time. It constantly monitors database transactions and activities as and when they occur, right? So they provide immediate alerts or notifications if suspicious or unauthorized activities. And now these notifications and alerts depend completely on the policies that the organizations themselves put onto the database activity. So it is completely dynamic. So different organizations can have different policies, which thereby you will not even know as a hacker, right? So these all triggers, it will act as triggers and it will send messages to the required authority that a data breach or anomaly has happened. We'll come to those points accordingly. So now user activity tracking. So it can track users' interactions with the database, including the logins, the queries, the updates, and any other operations that any user, any person in a company or an organization does in towards the database. It can completely monitor and track any or the all of that information and give it to the required collector. So individual user activities are monitored to identify any unusual or any unauthorized behavior. Policy enforcement. So it enforces all the policies, the security policies and rules defined by the administrators. It may include, which may include like access or restriction on access or data modification or any type of queries that are certain queries. Like certain employees are only allowed certain queries. So that policies are enforced using this database activity monitoring system. Auditing and logging. Comprehensive auditing and logging capabilities are integral to any DAM system, right? They maintain detailed logs of database activities, which could be crucial for forensic analysis and compliance purposes. Now, anomaly detection, basically the behavior and analysis and pattern are recognized for to identify abnormal activities. Now, unusual patterns or like any deviation from the established norms trigger alerts. Like as I said before, certain employees are only allowed to put certain queries. Now, if that particular employee logs in and does a query which is not supposed to be done, immediately a message will go to the authorized person. So it is like whatever anomaly is there, it immediately catches it. So data masking. So now this is basically a data. It is data protection. More than protection, it is to prevent stuff to happen. So basically, like it for so you can use. Oh wait, I can. Yeah. So anomaly detection, and now we are in data mask. So it involves like replacing or encrypting specific data elements in query results to prevent unauthorized exposure, like just for preventing. So it's a monitoring system, but it can also be used for preventing. Compliance and reporting. Now reports are made for whatever anything that happens in the system. It is completely reported, and compliance requirements by generating reports on database activities. Now compliance reports can be useful for auditing and for demonstrating adherence to this industry standards. Database performance impact. So it makes sure that it minimizes the impact of monitoring on the database performance to ensure that the database effectively is working effectively and efficiently as well. Now we'll go to a type of cloud data monitoring, activity monitoring. It is like the new generation of data activity monitoring system. It's called the cloud native attributes. It adheres to cloud. It gives heterogeneously. It allows for the cloud security as well. So now it has like database activity monitoring. You can say like it has been a key technology to measure access policy compliance for the prior generation of infrastructure on-prem databases, right? The novel challenges that have developed, like there were challenges that have developed as a result of the realization of cloud native applications have often showed, because like it gets difficult for cloud native applications, right? So a database should be both on-prem database as well as cloud native applications also, they should be able to adhere to. So measuring so like it is important that like the cost of the data breach events continue to rise right now, like of customer trust, regulatory fines, and real damages. It is becoming more and more a requirement to detect and mitigate data exfiltration events when and where they occur. The traditional DAM detects these anomalies and violations after the fact in an offsite log have showed to be inadequate. So when it's in the cloud, it's like a problem there. So what happens now? Introducing like a thick layer of architecture to intercept, record, and decide whether to block or forward database queries can severely affect performances of the applications and services that access the cloud native distributed data repositories. What is required by modern cloud architecture is a thin interception layer in time space, ideally one that has a negligible effect on the database response time and that can work across the modern database grammars and protocols, which is provided by the Cloud Native Data Act. Now, one of the applications for this is the IBM Guardian. So coming to the application of database activity monitoring system. We are going to talk about IBM Guardium, which is a database activity monitoring system, but it also does like a wide range of stuff, right? So we are going to come to it. I'm sorry for the slide. It's like we're going to talk about it. It prevents leaks from databases, data warehouses, and big data environments such as like Hadoop, ensures the integrity of the information, and automates compliance controls across heterogeneous environments. It also provides a scalable platform that enables continuous monitoring of structured and unstructured data traffic, as well as enforcement of policies for sensitive data access enterprise-wide. Now, basically, they are intended to enable continuous monitoring of all these heterogeneous databases and like document sharing infrastructures, as well as the enforcement of policies for the sensitive data across like any organization, utilizing a scalable platform. A centralized audit repository designed to like maximize security combined with an like integrated compliance workflow, you can say. It also enables products to streamline compliance validation activities across a wide variety of mandates. Now we come to the solution architecture. Now, what is the basically how does a database activity monitoring system look? Now, this is particularly of IBM Guardium. So now you see this blue color dots which are there on top of the databases. They are the basic like STAP agents is what they are called. They are the agents. Now these agents collect the information, collect the anomalies, collect the information, monitors the system databases, and if anything goes wrong, you can see the collector here is what collects the information. It transports, it finds the information from the agent, and it goes to the collector where the collector collects all the information. Now a group of collectors are managed by a central manager called the Guardium Virtual Central Manager. Now these are all the side you can see as the all these are the servers. There are like 6 servers which have to be connected before for the implementation of a Guardium system. SMTP server, because if you want to send mails to the particular employee, authorized employee, if any anomaly or anything is detected, it is completely sent like that. So this is the entire monitoring system. Okay, this is called as the STAP agent. The blue color dots, they are the STAP agent. The STAP collects information and then goes to the collector. Then aggregator, it equally distributes the collectors and the to the virtual manager. Next is the features of Guardium. That is, it is used for automation and data discovery. It can discover, classify, and catalog like any regulated, structured, or any unstructured data like that resides on the database or even in the cloud to uncover all the vulnerabilities. Then monitoring and activity and data, protecting their data. It protects the data with encryption, key management, real-time alerts, dynamic redaction. A fundamental challenge with data security is identifying who has access and what they can do. Enterprises like basically organizations need on-prem data, on-prem and cloud data sources, which is provided in this particular application. Now, speed up data compliance is basically Guardium can speed up compliance activities by performing simplified technical environment and pre-built templates that can automate the compliance workflows. There are so many examples like CCPA, PCI, DSS, SOX, and HIPAA and everything. Understanding the risks and prioritizing the investigations, like it can the Guardium provides advanced analytics and risk scoring to identify unknown threats, like by integrating with major security tools. It can enables your security analyst to prioritize and orchestrate responses across the SOC and ticketing systems. So that's it. Like that's basically how the features of Guardium and the database activity monitoring system does. So in conclusion, it's like a crucial pillar in the realm of cybersecurity, offering a proactive approach to safeguarding sensitive data within databases. Now, by providing real-time monitoring, user activity tracking, and policy enforcement, DAM systems contribute significantly to identifying and mitigating potential security threats. Thank you. That's all from me today. And signing off, this is me, Fayaz Khalid. Thank you so much for listening to me. That's it.